Hello everyone. A big thank you to all my subscribers. I do appreciate you every single day. Please, if you are watching this and you have not yet subscribed, I kindly ask you to subscribe, please. You are welcome to join the community. Thank you. Today we are off to Nigeria. Nigeria is a world dyed black, but just as diverse. It's a place of hope and despair, crime and friendship, peace and quarrels, all wrapped up like a bride on her wedding day. Let's go. Nigeria is one of the world's largest economies, but it faces so many challenges that contribute to dire poverty. There are several issues involved, for instance, bad governance, use of wrong policies, adaptation of wrong policies, implementation of wrong policies. Let us break it down. Corruption. Corruption is now the norm in Nigeria. From the top to the man on the street. Corruption is used as a survival tool. Corruption is everywhere. Political leaders are not accountable for the mismanagement of the country's resources. Early this year, the Minister of Poverty was being investigated for the disappearance $24 million. Let us take income inequality. Oil revenue is so poorly distributed, and the majority of the country's better jobs are in the capital-intensive sectors that are limited in numbers. Then there is the unemployment. This is what is truly frustrating everyone, including graduates. The informal employment rate is over 90%, and many young people leave the country for better opportunities in other countries. Not to mention the poor equality jobs. Around 13% of employed Nigerians work less than 40 hours a week. Do not go away yet. Let us continue. This is the kicker. Nigeria produces a lot of children. It is like they stop to think about the dire situation they are in when it comes to producing children. According to the Nigerian national I spoke to, he said, it is the man who controls whether his wife should have another child or not. The country's population is expected to double by the middle of the century, and the economic growth has been too low to support development. Should Nigeria adopt the Chinese way of controlling childbirth? What do you think? A high percentage of Nigerians are producing the children they are unable to look after. There are also social challenges. The country faces insecurity from banditry, kidnappings, and terrorist groups. Then, there is air pollution, which is affecting everyone. The air pollution shortens the average Nigerian's life expectancy by 1.8 years. The recent protests in Nigeria over the rising cost of living have subsided, but there are growing concerns that they could resume. Corruption and acute poverty are fueling public anger, leading to demonstrations against the government. The economic crisis has severely impacted everyday life, with many Nigerians struggling to afford necessities. Just imagine an oil-producing country cannot feed his own people in this century. In 1950, the Nigerian population was 32 million. In 2024, the Nigeria population is 218 million, and they keep giving birth to more children. And not are they just giving birth, but they are also increasing a number of the poor and miserable people, and making it hard for resources to be allocated to those who really need it most. No matter how you slice it, this is a terrible record for any country. It seems like Nigeria is leaderless. Nigeria is a multi-ethnic and culturally diverse federation of 36 autonomous states and the Federal Capital Territory. The political landscape is partly dominated by the ruling All Progressives Congress Party, which controls the executive arm of the government and holds majority seats at both the Senate and House of Representatives in Parliament and majority of the states. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn into office on May 29, 2023. Nigeria continues to face many social and economic challenges that include insecurity such as banditry and kidnappings, especially in the northwest region, continued insurgency by terrorist groups in the northeast, and separatist agitations in the southeast. President Tinubu has continuously pledged to turn around the economy and ensure security across the country. The citizens cannot wait for a better economic and social outcomes. Following a change of government in 2023, the country has been pursuing bold reforms to establish macroeconomic conditions for stability and growth. The gasoline subsidy has been substantially, and the exchange rate has been unified and allowed to be market-reflective, eliminating the parallel market premium and generating large fiscal and economic benefits. The Central Bank of Nigeria has apparently tightened monetary policy and refocused on its price stability mandate, facilitated by the authorities' commitment to the end deficit monetization. Although these measures are helping Nigeria's economy turn the corner, inflation remains high, increasing hardship and poverty. To support the poorest and more economically at-risk households, the government has been implementing temporary cash transfers to reach approximately 15 million households. 15 million households in a drop in the ocean. Despite having the largest economy and population in Africa, Nigeria offers limited opportunities to most of its citizens. The poverty rate is expected to continue, unless Nigeria pulls some miracle magic from the hat. Spatial inequality continues to be large, with best-performing regions of Nigeria comparing favorably to upper-middle-income countries, while the worst-performing states fare below average for low-income. In most areas in Nigeria, state capacity is low, service delivery is limited, and insecurity and violence are widespread. Infrastructure gaps constrain access to electricity and hinder the domestic economic integration that would allow the country to leverage its large market size, which is aggravated by trade protectionism. Emerging problems such as the increased severity and frequency of extreme weather events, especially in the northern parts of the country, add to this long-standing development challenges. Recent reforms offer a launching pad to a new social compact for Nigeria's development. Strengthening microeconomic fundamentals will allow structural reforms to be pursued and economic growth to be restored. The current low social and economic equilibrium could be switched to one marked by a better-funded and more effective state that provides efficient public services, public goods, and conducive economic environment for the private sector to flourish and create more quality jobs for Nigerians. Just going back to how Nigeria is so tightly affected by corruption. Dr. Betta Edu, Nigeria's Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. She was accused of misappropriating roughly 585 naira, $663 million, in grant money that was pledged to aid vulnerable citizens. She was suspended with immediate effect. Following the suspension, President Tinubu directed the executive chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to conduct a thorough investigation into all aspects of the financial transactions carried out by the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry, which was under Dr. Edu's watch. Check this out. EDU's suspension comes days after local media cited an official memo in which she directed that 585 million naira worth of grants meant for vulnerable groups should be paid into a private account. Why was it paid into a private account? In a country where the government's austerity measures have further squeezed millions of people facing extreme levels of poverty. Many Nigerians criticized the use of a private bank account for the grants program and called for the minister to be fired. What do you think of money being diverted into a private account? What do you think about the poverty situation in Nigeria? What should the government do to reduce poverty and unemployment? What do you suggest? Please let us share your suggestions on the comment section. They do generate a conversation. Share ideas. Thank you so much.